Hey everyone, and welcome back to Token Trends Weekly. I'm Max Ledge,
Emacs.
and with me as always, the amazing Sasha Coin.
It's great to be back.
Today we are diving deep into a topic that has got the crypto world buzzing. The digital euro. It's a big one, and we're going to break it down so you can really understand what it is, what it isn't, and why you should care even if you don't live in Europe.
Right.
And to guide us, we've got some great sources, articles from Forbes and CoinDesk, a report straight from the Bank of Italy, and a super helpful overview of the whole digital euro project. And get this, over €1 billion in contracts have already been given out to build this thing. That's some serious commitment.
It really is, and it shows how seriously the European Central Bank, the ECB, is taking this project.
All right, so let's get into it. First things first, what exactly is the digital euro picture? You're in a cafe in Paris about to pay for your croissant.
Ooh la la.
What if instead of using cash or a card, you could use a digital version of the euro straight from your phone?
That's the basic idea. The digital euro is essentially digital cash issued and backed by the ECB.
So like having euro bills, but in your digital wallet.
Exactly. But here's where it gets interesting. Unlike cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which are decentralized, the digital euro would be centralized and controlled by the ECB.
So it's more like a digital version of the euro we already use, just managed directly by the central bank, not through commercial banks.
Exactly. And it's not just about replacing physical cash.
Oh,
It's about creating a whole new system for how money works in the digital age.
that's a great point. It's about building a new infrastructure, not just swapping out physical euros for digital ones. Now, I know what some of our listeners might be thinking. Isn't the euro already digital? We use it online all the time. But this is different, right?
Absolutely. We already use digital representations of euros through our banks and payment platforms. But the digital euro would be different. It would be a direct claim on the central bank, kind of like having a digital version of those crisp euro bills in your pocket.
Okay, so it's a digital form of central bank money that we could use directly without going through commercial banks. That's a pretty big shift. Now, you mentioned it's different from cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Can you explain that a bit more?
Sure, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin operate on decentralized networks, meaning they are not controlled by any single entity. The digital euro, however, would be issued and controlled by the ECB, a central authority. This makes it what we call a central bank digital currency, or CBDC.
So the digital euro is a centralized digital version of the euro issued directly by the European Central Bank. It's not like Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies that operate on decentralized networks.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, this all sounds very futuristic and cool, but is it actually happening?
It's not a reality just yet, but it's moving quickly.
Yeah.
The ECB is currently in the pilot phase, testing different technologies and features. Remember those €1 billion in contracts we mentioned?
Yeah.
They're being used to develop and test the platform.
So it's not something we can use or invest in right now, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Exactly. And you know what's really fascinating? The potential applications of the digital euro go far beyond just replacing cash. We're talking about revolutionizing how we make payments, access financial services, and even interact with the digital economy as a whole.
All right, now we're getting to the exciting part. Before we jump into those potential applications, let's take a quick pause and come back to explore just how the digital euro could change the game in part 2. Welcome back. We've laid the groundwork, and now it's time to dive into the potential of the digital euro. I'm really curious about those game-changing applications you mentioned. Where do we even begin?
Well, imagine a world of seamless micropayments. With the digital euro, you could pay fractions of a euro for things like reading a single online article,
Wow.
listening to one song, or even tipping your favorite content creator. No more subscription fatigue or paywalls blocking you at every turn.
It's like bringing the concept of loose change into the digital world. I've always thought it was strange that we can pay for a coffee with a few cents, but can't easily do the same for small pieces of digital content.
Exactly. And think about the possibilities for creators.
Yeah.
They could monetize their work in entirely new ways, building direct relationships with their audience and receiving micropayments for individual pieces of content.
That's huge. It could be a real game changer for the creator economy. But it's not just about micropayments, right? What about cross-border transactions?
That's another area where the digital euro could really shine. Imagine sending money to family in another Eurozone country instantly, and without those pesky fees. The digital euro could make cross-border payments as easy as sending a text message.
That would be a huge relief for so many people.
Yeah.
No more waiting days for transfers to clear or dealing with expensive fees.
Exactly.
But we talked earlier about the ECB wanting the digital euro to work offline. How would that even be possible? It seems like you'd need an internet connection to make a digital payment.
That's a great question, and it's one of the most intriguing aspects of the digital euro project. The ECB is exploring different technological solutions to enable offline payments, possibly using near-field communication technology, NFC, similar to what we use for contactless payments with our phones today. Imagine being able to pay for things even in areas with limited internet access, like rural communities, or during a power outage.
Wow, that's incredible. It combines the convenience of digital payments with the accessibility of cash. It makes you think about those remote mountain cafes we were picturing earlier.
Yeah.
It really could open up a whole new world of possibilities.
Yeah.
But what about those who don't have bank accounts? Wouldn't they be excluded from using the digital euro?
The ECB is very much aware of that concern, and they're exploring ways to make the digital euro accessible even to those without traditional bank accounts. One possibility is offering digital wallets that don't require a bank account, allowing people to store and use digital euros directly. This would be a significant step towards financial inclusion, allowing more people to participate in the digital economy.
So we've got micropayments, streamlined cross-border transactions, offline functionality, and the potential to bridge the gap in financial inclusion. It's starting to feel like the digital euro could be a real game changer.
It has a lot of potential.
But with any new technology, there are always potential downsides. What are some of the risks we need to consider?
That's a crucial question, and it's important to acknowledge that the digital euro isn't a silver bullet. There are potential risks and challenges that need to be carefully considered. For instance, one of the biggest concerns is privacy. With the ECB having direct oversight of the digital euro system, some people worry that it could lead to increased surveillance and tracking of our financial transactions.
That's a valid concern. After all, privacy is essential, especially when it comes to our financial activity. Let's delve into those privacy concerns and other potential risks in our final part. Stay tuned. We're back, and it's time to tackle the big question. Is the digital euro a dream come true or a potential nightmare? We've talked about the potential, but what about those risks?
Right, let's address the elephant in the room, privacy. Some people are concerned that a central bank having direct control over a digital currency could lead to increased surveillance. Imagine if every single transaction you make, even buying a loaf of bread, could be tracked and analyzed.
That does sound a little unsettling. What's the ECB saying about these concerns?
Well, they've emphasized the cash-like nature of the digital euro, saying they're committed to building in privacy safeguards. They argue that you wouldn't expect the government to track your cash purchases, and the digital euro should be no different.
So they're aiming for a level of anonymity similar to cash transactions. But wouldn't that make it harder to prevent illicit activities like money laundering?
That's the trade-off, and it's a complex issue. The ECB is exploring ways to balance privacy with security and compliance. They're considering things like setting limits on anonymous transactions or requiring identity verification for larger amounts.
It seems like finding the right balance between privacy and security will be a key challenge for the digital euro project. But are there any other risks besides privacy?
Definitely. One concern is the potential impact on the traditional banking system. If people start holding most of their money in digital euro wallets, it could reduce deposits in commercial banks, affecting their ability to lend money, and potentially leading to financial instability.
That's a valid point. It could disrupt the entire financial ecosystem. What about the technical side of things? Are there any risks associated with the centralized digital currency system?
Absolutely. A centralized system is inherently more vulnerable to cyber attacks and technical glitches. Imagine a system outage that prevents people from accessing their digital euros. It could cause widespread disruption and erode trust in the system.
That's a sobering thought. It seems like the success of the digital euro hinges on the ECB's ability to address these challenges effectively.
Exactly. They need to build a system that is secure, resilient, and respects user privacy while also being easy to use and accessible to all. It's a tall order, but the potential benefits are significant.
So where does this leave us? Will the digital euro be a revolutionary step forward or a cautionary tale?
It's too early to say for sure. The outcome will depend on how the ECB navigates the complex challenges ahead and how the public embraces this new form of money. What's clear is that the digital euro is a groundbreaking experiment with far-reaching implications for the future of finance.
It certainly is, and it's an experiment worth watching closely.
Well, that was a fascinating deep dive into the digital euro. Thanks for breaking it all down for us, Sasha.
My pleasure, Max. Always happy to explore these important topics with you.
And to all our listeners out there, be sure to subscribe to Token Trends Weekly for more deep dives into the exciting world of crypto and digital currencies. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.